Hello and welcome to Innovation Coffee, ARM's Innovation Coffee, brought to you by, of course, as I said, the folks at ARM. My name is Robert Wolf, and this is
Gabriel Peterson.
we are developer evangelists at ARM, and we bring you this live stream every week at 5 p.m. UTC or currently 9 a.m. Pacific, right?
That sounds right.
That sounds right. And yeah, to show off all the really cool stuff happening in and around the ARM developer ecosystem. And today you may notice that our background or scenery is somewhat different. And not only that, this is not like a divider. And we're here. Look, see, we're here together in the ARM office in San Jose. So it's been a lot of fun kind of actually getting out of the house, getting out of, my own little office, though. I do miss my computer background, the lighting, the camera. Still, we'll make do. It'll be a fun episode. We have some exciting things planned for you. And we will, of course, go into some announcements and things that have been happening with ARM, around ARM, and of course, in the developer space, because a lot of stuff has been happening. We have our guest today, who is Dara Graylish. He's been on the show several times before. You may remember him as the zombie. Was it the zombie? This scarecrow zombie from our Halloween episode. Gosh, I should have pulled up one of those pictures and gone into a little bit of a throwback. But yeah, anyways, if you enjoyed this episode or on any of our episodes, head on over to our playlist, check it out, smash that like button on this one, subscribe to the ARM Software Developers YouTube channel, and stay tuned for many others like this. We, of course, release content quite frequently and have fun hanging out, interacting, answering questions to all the developers in our community. We're saying hello, Hybrid Robotics. Hello, Arjit Das, Mark Beto. Welcome to the show, and thank you so much for being here. Again, if you have questions, make sure you toss those into the YouTube chat. We will get to them as soon as possible. Those can be for Gabriel, myself, our guest, Dara. Lots of amazing things happening today. All right, so I think with that said, we should probably bring him on, huh?
Yes.
You see him fiddling around there with all this hardware. When we were in the green room, he has a bunch of cool stuff behind him. So I think we're going to get to do an Innovation Coffee Cribs today, when we haven't done in a while. He's in his 56K cloud office, and joining us from that office is, let's start. He had it planned. Dara, what's up? How are you?
Like this because we have our branding behind it.
Yeah, let's start your cloud journey. And Dara, take us on that cloud journey. But first, I know you've been here before. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, sure. Hope you hear me okay. Yeah, so I'm Dara Grealish. I'm the CTO of 56K Cloud. Yeah, as you can see, we have new T-shirts made as well. And Robert mentioned, I've been a few times on this presenting, various topics that we were doing around ARM, like for example, with AWS Greengrass, securing this with Parsec, for example, also the Parsec community itself, and now kind of more closer to what I have behind me here is the system ready based platforms. So yeah, we're in short, we're a cloud consulting company that works more on like hands-on implementation wise, hence the hardware. And we kind of our focus is between like the software on these devices up to the cloud, and so our typical kind of customers are a lot of customers that have both hardware and then this connectivity to the cloud or this concept in the cloud, and they might be also adopting that public cloud or private cloud concept, and so our focus is really on those kind of evangelizing those developer tools, making them work in their companies and having them, and also like from a community perspective, as well as like, motivating as well them to transform, to bring better tools to their working environment. So, one example is like Docker is one of our partners, and I'll have a chance to show you some latest features there. And also,
are we getting a demo today?
well, kind of, I mean, it's like, I mean, why not a demo where you just try it new, that like if it breaks, it breaks, but it's the whole point, like, so this is, like you said, a kind of a format we're not usually formalizing the agenda, but we like to, yeah,
It happened.
make it happen, exactly. And if we hit problems, that's good.
Yeah, so Dara, I'm actually curious, is that the Ampere Advantech big old workstation there behind you that's glowing, or is that something else?
No, this exactly. You picked it right exactly.
I,
So this,
did I nail it?
yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. Let's you know what, Dara, let's do the icebreaker here. So just hold on for 1 second. I think it's time for innovation coffee.
Yeah.
Chris. I have some new splashes that I got. I just haven't uploaded them yet, but I still like the old one. So Dara, Innovation Coffee Cribs, you have
Yeah.
just amazing tech floating all around you. Let's and of course keep trickling in some fun stuff about yourself and 56K
Yeah.
as you see fit. You know, you guys are doing a crazy, amazing things on ARM, and we want to hear about it. But let's also look at that tech you got going on around you.
Yeah. So yeah, what I'll do is I can also bring up a slide about it, but I have two things to show here. This is the Ampere, what's it called? It's the AVA. They have it's a development platform for 2 or 3 different use cases. I mean, its primary use case is actually in the automotive industry. This one is on edge compute in automotive, and that's partly because the platform has a water cooling example here, as you see, and that's because naturally enough in the automotive industry you usually cool things. But the system is basically this development board, lots of interfaces. So of course you can use it pretty much for anything that requires a lot of compute. That particular comp is called a comp HPC. So there's actually 2 boards on top of each other here that you don't see. And that actually particular one is a 64 core Ampere Altron, ARM Cortex A CPU. It's I think a Neoverse N1, so similar to the Graviton, AWS Graviton ones, and it's as close as you can get to a proper compute platform with the same performance you get in the public cloud. Like for example with AWS, and this is of course in the nice gaming enclosure. You can also change the light, so it's nice. Like one of my colleagues is really jealous because he's like, I wanted to buy that box, and then it has this mode that goes like that. Yeah.
Party mode. It's called party mode. So,
Yeah.
Dara, tell me real quick, what are you doing with it right now? Also, just to let everyone know who's watching, whether you're watching this live or on demand, we'll make sure that we include a link to any piece of hardware that Dara shows, if it's available. We'll make sure that we include a link in the description so you can go check it out and learn more about it, and or maybe buy one for yourself. But yeah, so Dara, what are you doing with it?
Well, so we're doing it. We have what we have is like, first of all, we're building up a lab that we can run multiple use cases that are built on ARM. This one specifically, we have 2 focuses. First is the like edge compute in the context of 5G. So the idea is you have this idea of a private 5G in a box, and this particular platform, what's called the AVA developer one, that one is focused where you can have some software-defined line cards in here, PCI Express cards, and the objective is that you can have an edge compute either running the 5G network, or for example providing that compute that would have those 5G edge applications. And the reason why you need a lot of compute with the likes of 5G is actually when you come to a point where you have this software-defined radios, and you have to have precision timing and cell phone roaming, so you need the synchronization between the cells. So that's the reason why you have a lot of compute at the edge inherently in telco applications. So that's the first kind of use case. So here we want to use Magma.
You did say this is the AVA kit, right?
Yeah. So if you go to this is the QR code. If you go to ADLink Tech, if you go to so I can drop the link in the chat. Actually.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great. You might not be able to drop it in the chat. Drop it in the private chat, and then we'll post it in the public one in the YouTube. But so this is the AVA kit. David Walmworth asked whether this is the AVA kit, and yes, it is. So question answered. Awesome. But yeah, let's hear more. Did we drop him? Did you drop him?
So there you go. Yeah. So that's one use case. Is that edge compute stuff. The second use case, which this platform is actually certified for, is there's an organization called the SOFIA. It's the scalable. It's like to create a reference architecture with the focus of compute in cars and automotive. hence the water cooling thing in here makes it super quiet as well, and that you'll find a link inside, their website. But the reason is that, there's this becoming the strong demand for building out a lot of the compute, in a vehicle that has the infotainment systems. You have the self-driving capabilities. You also have the self-driving capabilities for industrial applications like, agriculture, or, in the automobile, also you have this like self-driving in industrial locations with mining or the container stuff. So it's not just, having that compute to have this, high level of machine learning capabilities, localized, but also like any applications that add to it. So basically,
real quick, sorry, because I before we switch off of automotive, I actually want to talk real quick about this, because I'm curious. We actually had to talk about this kind of like what humane tech, but these self-driving vehicles, right? I've seen some of them, and people may think like, maybe not everyone, but like people may think like, oh well, how big are these boxes? How much compute do you actually need to put into this vehicle?
Yeah.
And I saw some of these self-driving cars, like their trunk is loaded. Like there is a lot of compute that needs to be put into these cars. And so a box like this, it may look big on your desk, and it may look big in your car, but these are the kinds of machines that are going into these cars, right? To handle this self-driving stuff.
Exactly. There's a like H-top with 64 cores, and you can get up to, on the same die, 128 cores, and they're not hyper-threaded cores or shared cores. They're actually proper cores. But yes, there's a ton of tech in vehicles, also like in rail, in airplanes and everything. You have a lot of tech, and the stress there with the industry is they need to consolidate it. They don't want to have multiple boxes for discrete applications. They want to be able to, virtualize it, containerize it on the shared compute infrastructure, because people are now concerned about energy. Oh, and that's the last thing I forgot to say. That thing is like so this CPU die inside there, that when it's idling is using about 1.5 watts. Like the actual die in there, the silicon, and the whole platform itself, so it's about 35 watts. So when I talk about the HPC platform, it's this kind of box here. That is.
Yeah, but this is oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say that's crazy low. That's like laptop low.
Yes.
Like power efficient laptop low.
And so this is including, you're talking the die, even your LEDs, the everything, the cooling system is 35 watts, everything? Or
no. They took a 750 watt power supply for the whole thing, because but I'm talking about.
I'm like, holy crap! Yeah,
this is, I don't know if you did. This is the motherboard, and then this is the HPC top. Yes. And that part I'm talking about can go from, it idles around this 30 watts, and then the die is running around 1 watt. Of course, when I load it, I can go up to 250 watts. If I, but that makes sense because I'm loading a ton of compute on the thing. So
no, that's cool. So it's still a desktop.
Yeah,
still a desktop, pulling desktop power, but it's nice to see how low and how efficient the chip is, right?
I mean, that's still very low for that many cores.
Yep. Let's read some comments here real quick. We have David Walmworth saying several 80-link Ampere Ava kits were used at CES to demo Sophie and AutoWare on ARM. Yes. Sophie's really cool. We will be having an episode on Sophie soon. Gabe will probably be doing some stuff with Sophie. I'm glad that you saw that. Were you at CES, David? I'm actually curious because, if you were going to CES, I got pinged by a lot of people saying, Robert, where are you? Why aren't you at CES? And I was like, maybe I should start going to that. Hybrid Robotics. Robert said he is going to get me one of those for my birthday. Yes, maybe we'll see. I don't know. Don't hold me to it, but I'll post these questions here. Let's click them. Let's click them up here.
I also shared the slide on the spec if you want to pull it up.
Oh, cool. Yes, I will pull that up in just a second. We have one question for you though. Dara from David Walmworth. Dara, can you talk about your tractor project? Wasn't that teleop or autonomy in AG in agriculture? Yeah, if anyone will recall, Dara joined us on a call once to talk about, actually, it was kind of what is automated tractors in agriculture. It actually was kind of agritech. But maybe we can recap on that, or Dara, you can tell us how things went there. You did release some blogs from what I recall.
Yeah, it was more like testing. You know, I was trying to. So basically, what I was doing is accessing the CAN bus. There's 2 CAN buses in the tractor, you know, and I was accessing that and doing some data dump because a lot of these tractors that are based on, you know, hydrostatic and have power steering. I mean, you can just signal in the CAN bus the control. So I wanted to see, you know, could you retrofit an existing tractor that has, you know, complete all the instrument control is a CAN bus, and actually augment a automated, you know, an automated environment, you know, actually bring autonomy, because a lot of companies are doing that now. You know, there's one like neighbor company here that there's actually retrofitting, you know, Volvo trucks.
Instead of designing autonomous, you're actually retrofitting something that was not autonomous and making it autonomous.
Exactly. Well, so they're first doing electrical drivetrain in it, and then they're bringing in the software, because, you know, part of this going autonomous is also you need to like build up the respect in the industry, build up the understanding. So you can't just immediately go straight to autonomous. I mean, it's taking time, and you can see this with Cruise, for example. You know, with what Cruise is doing. You know, and all that's like public reference. I mean, they talk about it and that's also why there's that organization, like you mentioned, the Sophia project, where they're trying to enable the developers in all of these automotive sectors. Because I mean, it's you have to think about when they develop systems on CAN bus, and we actually have a CAN bus thing running here. I can show you later. It's actually like hard real time. You know, this platform has this Cortex A, and if you want to do hard, you can. So it has like the patch with the kernel 6+ from Linux. So I have preempt dynamics, so I can do real-time Linux instruction sets. But if you want to get to like safety, control in industrial applications, then you use Cortex OR, and that's where usually the silicon is, or the soft system on chip is combined with a micro, and Cortex M4, Cortex OR maybe 7 or 5, and then a Cortex A for just general compute, and that's been done since. So that's where that industry needs a bit of lift up in developer tooling experience to actually bring in the kind of cloud native technologies that are being used in the web, in the public in the public cloud, and actually lift up that. So that's also part of the agenda, and then inherently then you'll start to get more acceptance in the industry.
Amazing stuff, Dara. I'm going to have to ask you to share, though, not right now, but later. I remember you were writing blogs about this effort that you did.
Yeah.
You can share those with me later, and I can get those added to the description and share them with David in our Discord server, if that's okay. One thing I did want to say here is that we were talking before this about, we kind of tangented off a little bit. I forgot now what we were talking about. We were on Sophie. We were on putting machines like this in cars, automation, the Ava kit, and then
you saw the RGB and got distracted.
I saw the RGB and got distracted. Yeah, so let's dive in to some questions here that we have. Is that okay? Or oh no, the slide. That's what it is. Oh my goodness.
I think people were asking questions about the
there we go. Okay, so this is the slide. You wanted to go over this, right?
Yeah. So that's the specification there.
Could you make that a little bigger, or maybe present it and see, because the writing is a little small.
Yeah, okay. It's funny, it goes full screen on my side.
Yeah, it's okay. It's fine.
All right.
You'll get to go check the spec out. All video now to read spec. All right.
So yeah, basically this is the one I have. This is the ADD P64, and as I mentioned, so this guy has got multiple interfaces, 64 PCI Express lanes. It's got a gig, so it's got an onboard, management controller, like a BMC they call it. So this is like out of band access, and there you can, like access the.
Did Mark get you this one, by the way, by chance?
So yeah, so this box is a collaboration between you guys, AD-Link and ARM. Yeah.
So this is one of Mark's boxes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
We
recognize
need to get one of them.
especially when he was talking about magma. That's the whole thing they want us to
Yeah.
look into.
Yeah. We're trying to get one of these boxes ourselves. We have some fun stuff we want to build.
Okay.
So-
Well,
You're ahead of the game. You got better connections at ARM than I do.
well, let me just share my screen properly, because I'd like to show. Maybe I can show you how you can get one today, like anyone, because you can get remote access to one right now. So let me just present my screen, because then I can deep dive into it a bit more. And
Oh, you're saying we can get remote access to one of these?
yeah. Let me show you there's this hidden link, and I will share it now. Where's the screen? So StreamYard. Here we go. Now. So API. So
Let me know when you're ready for me to bring it up.
yeah, ready.
And I'll remind everyone while I bring this up that if you have questions, feel free to post those in the chat. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe to ARM Software Developers YouTube channel.
Cool.
All right, do.
Yeah, so this is IPI. This is basically AD-Link's prototyping website, so where you can buy various different kits, and I mean, you can notice like there's lots of labels on some of these boxes here, and here you have the AVA developer platform and the Ampere Antral developer platform.
System ready.
Sorry, system ready. Exactly. So hardware-wise, what?
Oh no, I was just saying system ready. Like I see the little. You're saying you see the little badges that some of these devices have, and you can see the system ready badges on some of those. Like
exactly.
Right
yeah. So if you notice, the system ready has different colors. So this is, I believe, SOR, and this one here is IOR. This is another box I'll show later. This is another one, with an NXP IMX Plus PC in there. But if you go into any of these, there is test and run link. So if you fill out that test and run, you can get at least 5 days free access. Just give some good reasons why you need to use this 32. It's easier to get the 32 core than the 80 core, just so you're aware, and your interest, and then you'll essentially get SSH access to a box. And it takes maybe 3-4 days. And of course, if you don't get your tests finished and you need it longer, I mean, those guys are pretty nice. They give it to you longer. The only thing is, it's in what?
They're doing this to get. I mean, whether I don't know their intents, but they're doing this to try and get you to buy one. They're not doing this with the intent of trying to convince you to get services that would allow you to lease out or rent one of these boxes for long term, right? Like they're not in the provisioning boxes or provisioning out, this type of hardware business. They want to sell you one, right? So they're just letting you try it.
Yeah. So
there's a way for you to go for a year to use this box, right? Like
no, of course, if you're able to help them with problems for a year, of course, but I've tried a few things out, and then that kind of bridged the gap for 2-3 months while we were because the thing is that we needed to build a business case internally, why we need this. So of course that 5 days, or actually I had it for I think 2 weeks in iterations, and that exactly like you mentioned, Robert, we could hash out the Magma use case. So now we have the real hardware. Now we can start to put the line cards in there and PCI Express cards, and test it out. So I dropped a link there in the chat for you, and here's all the documentation. You can see also the system ready certification in there as well, and it explains it. And the other nice advantage of that, it even has a Ubuntu logo on it. It's the first box I've ever seen with like a Ubuntu sticker. So it comes with Ubuntu out of the box, and then
is that your go-to OS there, Dara?
Yeah.
So, nice.
So, and the other thing, maybe I can show you. So it also has what's called a a remote, like this thing called BMC, so IPM. So normally servers have this ability where you have a separate system in there that allows you to access the thing remotely. But anyways, that's the.
By the way, real quick, I just want to answer this question from Hybrid Robotics. Ampere and NVIDIA are two different companies. So no, this is not NVIDIA Ampere architecture. It's ARM architecture, and these are Ampere chipsets in that box that's being featured. Or maybe he meant to put, is this NVIDIA or Ampere? But this is Ampere. So the in that box.
Yeah, but if you watch the CES and all the other conferences recently, they've had an NVIDIA card in there, you know, just show the machine learning kind of compute side of that. But yeah, so, but again, yeah, like you said, it's not Ampere, it's not AMD. But yeah, that's this is where you can buy it. It's comes in, it takes about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and there's other stuff. So anyways, any other questions, or we jump on to the next one?
I don't know. Let me see if Gabe has a question, because I know he wrote several down here, and I think he's waiting for me to, because we have a little computer down here too that we're using it.
Yeah, if you see us looking down, that's why.
Yeah, we're trying to do the production as we're streaming, and we're not at our regular computer. So, but yeah, here I opened it for you. Did you want to ask any of these yet?
Yeah, if you didn't want to go with yours. So I know a lot of going through your company that you do a lot of this work, kind of prepping companies to go to the cloud or assisting them in that kind of thing. Is there a, of course,
oh, I'm sorry, I clicked away.
Yeah, is there a particular stack you kind of guide them through initially, like not a cookie cutter, but like a general one, or do you really, like, can they vary wildly based off of the needs of the company? Just wondering, like, if you're starting something small, you're starting a small business and you're thinking about deploying to the cloud, is there a general things people need to have in mind first, or?
So in the cloud context, yeah, we all usually have a reference architecture, you know. So like we for quite some years now, we've always been building out like a cloud reference architecture, and based on if that customer is, you know, more like a Java stack or more enterprisey, you know, they go down the what we call a Terraform route. So there's a reference architecture with Terraform, and that allows like what you do is you gain like 9 to 12 months or 15 months of cloud engineering where you can just start with your app already. So usually startups love that because they can accelerate. Now that you've got more adoption with kind of hardware connected to the cloud, kind of new people coming into this kind of software engineering, kind of getting into the embedded world, but they're not really working at a lower level Linux embedded world. They're working on the application stack on top. But, you know, so what ends up happening now is, you know, this kind of reference architecture has extended into the edge and into the like IoT kind of sphere. But it's very hard to find embedded C developers, and you know, there's not many of them. A lot of them like to work deep, and when they have to just change role to work on cloud technology, you usually find that the people who work in the cloud get excited with hardware, you know. And so I mean, I hope that answers your question. But yeah, that's how we've kind of pivoted more to use cases that are connected to the cloud through IoT. And so like if we identify a customer as, you know, like, you know, is an AWS customer or could benefit from AWS, for example, then okay, great, let's hit that. You know, that we tell them, okay, give your Greengrass, you can have this cloud adoption framework, let's kick this off. And then the nice thing is the customer ends up usually working backwards, where they, within 2-3 days, they're loaded with all this implementation. Here's your app, you can run it now. And then they learn, then they have to understand, then work backwards from that. Okay, what did this just get deployed? You know, how can I manage my device? And here's the solution. Because in the end, you know, they want to get to market very quickly. They may not have the experience to build up the tooling, but they want to benefit from, you know, a partner who has that, and also build off. Our important part here, particularly with the ARM agenda, is, you know, like they can build off the system ready program. You know, like this you can take a USB key, you can go to ubuntu.com, download the ARM build of the Ubuntu ISO, and it'll boot off this computer. And that's because the developers here have put the effort in to upstream the board support packages and everything like that. So what we want to do is we want to be on the receiving end with customers who buy that and actually want to use it in the cloud. So when they develop software for this kind of device, or the smaller devices down here, they can build it in, let's say, like in an ARM AWS Graviton CPUs, they don't have to have cross compiler magic and whatever, and then they can bring it from really like their laptop, you know, which can also be an ARM native. This is an example of one. This is also running on an ARM. This is Windows on ARM device, so they can bring it from there, you know, have the pipeline in the cloud, and then deliver the software to the device. And what you're doing there is you're de-risking the ability where the customer didn't have to focus on building out their special Linux builds for the particular hardware they bought, because the system ready program solved that, you know, with the certifications and with the software, with the alignment with the whole Linux kernel and stuff. Second of all, they you know, they were probably net new to public cloud, so they had to learn all the developer tooling and everything that. So you kind of give them a kind of like a framework, you know, that they can enter into and get to market really quickly. So yeah, that's kind of, you know,
Yeah.
our
So yeah, that was kind of what I was wondering. Is it like, and then you answered, do they know what they need to do in mind, or the tech they need in mind, or did you have to guide them through that? And yeah, so it sounds like they kind of know what they want, they just don't know how to execute.
yeah. So well, like maybe like let's move to some more harder, because then I can explain it while I go along.
Yeah, but
So,
real quick, Dara, real quick, I do want to just address something that popped up in here. It was a mention from Peter Ing, and he is one of our new ARM ambassadors, as so are you. I do want to talk about that in just a minute, but
yes,
that there is a availability of ARM Ampere instances in the Oracle Cloud, and these are free to use instances, or at least at the very least subsidized. And this is a great opportunity for any developer out there to go explore the Works on ARM program. So not only does Oracle Cloud have instances like this, but AWS does as well, as well as Google, as well as various other very esteemed cloud providers. You go to arm.com/works on ARM, and you can go see all of these different companies that are offering these free instances for you to go try out as a developer, so you can convince your superiors to migrate to ARM, because you do get cost savings and performance improvements in many cases in terms of migrating your workloads over. So this gives you a nice chance to experiment with that before going all in, right? But Dara, cool. And by the way, you should check that out, Peter. I don't know. I was trying to click on it right now or go to the site. It looks like maybe the ARM website is under maintenance. I've never seen that, but they might be fixing something on there. So yeah, you want me to bring up your screen there, Dara?
Yeah, I was just going to show you also Azure is doing it, as well.
Yes, Microsoft, I believe Google, AWS. There's some other, I want to say smaller entities like the OSU, OSL, which is it's a university's open source lab that is offering some instances like that. But yeah.
And if you want to go deep into the performance of Ampere Altair, like how Azure is now, Ubuntu is supporting it. Hence why Ubuntu comes packaged in with the box I showed you there, is also from Herzener Cloud, which is a German kind of cloud provider, Ampere Altra. They have a really nice YouTube interview. They're like one of the first European hosters to now have. Okay, you think I'm a robot? That actually have available. Yeah. So this company has it, and they have a really good YouTube interview where they actually show their evaluation of it. So if you just, I'll try to find it, but it's there's a guy YouTube who has done a pretty good review somewhere. I'll have to post it later, but they make a good. Oh, that's it. I think this is it. This is Tony, exactly, yes. So he actually just talks about the provider and also goes through the CPU somewhere at some point. So the nice thing is they actually do some tasks. They check the thermal dynamics and everything. And yeah, I'll have to add it there later. But yeah, that's another provider that also gives you some preview. And then Azure, they have a form that you can fill out. I believe this is still open. I don't know if it's still pay as you go, but yes, you can at least get with this form. It's in their press release, access to a few, virtual CPUs.
Nice.
So, yeah.
So Dara, let's pivot here a little bit. I want to know, you have some hardware behind you that you were about to shift over to. I'm guessing this is hardware that 56K Cloud has been working on and or has been building for a client of sorts. But I want to kind of two-prong this one. Show us the hardware, but I mean, I'm always wondering what 56K Cloud is up to. So, maybe trickle in a little bit, like tell us, like, how's 56K Cloud doing? What are you up to? What are you building back there? What's going on?
The updates.
The updates. This is the general updates. How's 56K Cloud doing? What are you doing? What are you building? You used to send me all sorts of cool pictures. And then I think Gabe wants to talk about, meeting you in the Swiss Alps.
Yeah, that immediately stuck out to me. It's like, oh, you do some training in the Swiss Alps. That sounds very fun.
Yeah. So we
about that. Yeah.
So
let's start from the beginning. He's gonna go
the
grab
Alps
his
first.
Yeah, the Alps first. He's gonna go grab something that he did. Let me see, at the Swiss Alps, or he's bringing back some other hardware.
Yeah.
This is fun. We get to jump all over the place. I feel. Oh, there you go. Yeah, that was the event.
Oh,
Ansys System Summit.
Yeah. So we need to do this. We need to do it again because we wanted to do another edition, but then COVID hit. And this Santis is up to the summit. So the Santis is actually a mountain in Switzerland. I know a few colleagues of mine right now are going to be like cheering because we always like to show off this mountain than Zermatt. There's a famous mountain everyone knows. But this is closer than this mountain than Zermatt.
I told Gabe as we were walking over to the office, he's like, "Oh, I really want to ask Dara about the Swiss Alps thing he did." And I'm like, "If you bring that up, Dara's gonna get really excited."
Yeah. So hopefully, I would make this a call out as well to like anyone who wants to help us make this event again, realize it. I mean, we got a lot of system related engineers, not just like public cloud focused, but actually like all this hardware Linux kernel guys. I mean, maybe get it Systems Santis Summit, and it kind of sounded cool because it was like SSS. So if we can, I use my colleagues Brian's blog. He did a really good review on it. But yeah, we organized a hotel up in the mountains. We took
like what, 50 people show up? Like
we had about 47 to maybe, I don't know, 40, 55, because some just came for the day.
Solid.
For like kind of like a, let's just say a more isolated place like this, for that many people to show up to talk tech, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we had some really interesting. So here was the venue. We had a lot of Docker folks. We did an unconference kind of style where there was a marketplace and some formalized talks and not. And then we went up the gondola, and we actually got stuck up there because it was so windy that they couldn't bring us down. And then there was an all over rush that, okay, there's a gap in the wind, so now you go down, because we wanted to have dinner and up on the mountain, and we were so busy touring the facility because my previous employer, they have infrastructure up there, they have a big huge antenna, and we went and we went inside and organized a kind of surprise tour, and we all had a really good time. I mean,
I'll be carrying a pocket full of beef jerky with me wherever we go. If I got stuck somewhere without food,
I like that's your first thought.
Yeah, just carrying a pocket full of beef jerky.
Yeah, and we, because we had to go in the lift, and we we calculated that the entire audience was 2.2 thousand kilograms.
That's cool.
Yeah, cool. No, it was great. It was a nice view. So yeah, we need to do a repeat of this. This would be great. So up here is the Santis Summit with the installation, and then down you have the
So Dara, with the reawakening of the developer program, actually I should say the launch of the developer program, the unfortunate deprecation of the ARM Innovator program, still a great transition into a new and I think very fruitful, amazing program that's in the midst of basically becoming, real. the ARM developer program, maybe this could be a nice little retreat for the ambassadors. I don't know, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can't promise things now, but what we can do is if people can, we can have a job to sponsor, to kind of co-invest their time to organize topics and agenda up there, the people will come. I mean, we do another one which is called Socrates. I do this along with my kind of software craftsmanship colleague Patrick Baumgartner. We've been doing it consistently now for 7 or 6 years. And it's very successful to do a kind of unconference style that kind of allows the candidates to bring their agenda, and we already have a waiting list. So this is the next one we'll be doing, and we're going to be in a new location. But that's an example. And
is that a play on words for SOC, like Socrates, or no?
Soc, it could be, yeah, would be nice, but. Just to finish on that note, this is an example of a kind of open marketplace thing. So an unconference is that the attendees bring the agenda. They usually in the morning they set up post-its. They say, hey, I'd like to talk about this. I'd love to learn, let's say, about WAF, Docker, and ARM. And then we organize an agenda in about half an hour, and then you have this kind of
So do you at least, because I mean, if you're talking about the attendees, it's an event, but the schedule is not yet set, right? And so the technical discussions, topics, what's actually going to happen is not yet set. I'm very curious though. The attendees have to somewhat know each other and the people's skill sets, or do people go up to some book at the very beginning and write their skill sets and the things that they're good at talking about, and then people can go kind of pick from a menu?
Yeah, so basically this is part of the Socrates kind of movement, which is focused on software craftsmanship. It was called craftsmanship, software craft and testing. So you'll get people gravitating around those topics. Again, it's still broad enough within the IT industry, but what happens is we have about maybe 30-40% of regulars, and they will pull the rest of the people along. Where in Santa Summit it was kind of a new thing. So what we did is we actually had half the day was kind of open market a bit, and I went and kind of got 2-3 key people to kind of bring topics to the table. So you can see this start in the afternoon. So that a lot of conferences do that. They actually start first with a structured agenda, and then in the afternoon, when people have got more motivated and they understand the topics, they then go into the full, marketplace.
It would suck being like the one guy who didn't get picked, right? Like your skill set. No one wrote your tech talk on a.
Or the other way to think about it is you get to have a vacation now. You're not working. You just get to enjoy it.
No, these guys aren't working. They're having fun talking about that stuff. But plugging in your flashcards into every single one, and then you realize no one wanted to hear your talk. Dara, let's move on to the stuff you have behind you, because and by the way, all those links, again, I'll remind everyone that's watching, I will make sure that we get all of the links, the Socrates Summit, the Santis Summit. We'll get all of those links put there so you can go explore, and then hopefully one day we'll have Dara on the show again, and we'll be planning out an event like something like that. I don't know, but we'll see.
Yeah. So
excuse me. So yeah, let's see what we got going on.
Yeah. So just on the hardware, so that's actually this is the IMX8 Mini on a single board PC, and it's in an industrial enclosure. It's focused at PLC kind of industrial automation. So you have the CAN bus here. So this is not automotive CAN bus focused. It's more focused on PLC, on industrial control. And what we're doing at the moment is, to your question there, I mean, you asked, Gabe, does the clients have a hardware in mind? And in this case, yes, they have some hardware in mind. And this customer came to us to say, look, we are trying to evaluate how we can restack our platform on a number of devices. And so what we've been doing is actually building up a little test bed. So this is essentially kind of 2 industrial PCs, ARM based, This is a what we call a CAN bus based I/O block. So these are pretty standard in the industry. You can get them from Wago or Weidmiller or Siemens and all them. And then basically we have a CAN bus interface that goes into this. So I have it plugged out, but you would have this kind of connector, and then there's an I/O block on top of this. And essentially what we're doing is building up the software tooling and automation stack to allow the software to be delivered to these devices, and then also to vet out, what kind of device we need. So this is based on ARM v7. This is, from an implementation perspective, it's a bit old, but in that industry, old has a different scale to things. And then this is exactly the screen share I showed you. This is the IMX 8 Mini is in the sky. It's a Clontron, and that is a ARM system ready certified platform. So you usually get a certificate like this, and essentially means if I grab, do you want to share your screen there? Yeah, just to show the
your screen. Yeah, here we got this right here. I got it.
So,
Boom, I'm ready.
So
yeah,
like this,
it's a ready pitch.
Yeah. So basically, what happens is, to kind of get to what this means. This is a cert that you get from the public internet, and this one, for example, if I use this firmware, it's against this. Like this is the test suite, the ACS, the ARM compliance test suite. This is the board support architecture. This is the enhanced board with support requirements, and essentially, they upstream the support in the Linux kernel that essentially you can take Ubuntu, like maybe Fedora. Maybe you have a Yocto recipe, and you can build it with these this firmware, this U-boot firmware, and it should just work out of the box. That's the objective. So what we do is we take those builds that are certified, and then we extend we build in the software for the client on top of that. And so that's how you can get quicker to the market. So there, for example, and then here you have your documentation, but you can also get access to the builds and stuff here. This is the yeah, but that's
you've been a big help in pushing the system ready stuff forward, Dara. So kudos to you and your support and all of that.
Yeah, the reason is it's like clouds, it's like Docker or containers. If you build on top of a few years ago when you started to build on top of containers, you could be a bit more portable, and you had a way to technically communicate with an IT provider. Hey, can you run that? Now it's getting to the point where the industry expects a level of compatibility, to not have to reinvent the wheel every time to get a different hardware platform, And at the same time, when you guys ARM builds, new instruction sets or acceleration into, let's say, the Cortex A series, at least on the software end side of that, this like system ready program is making sure that gets accessible to the developers, And so we want to like build on top of that. We want to build a community that kind of benefits off of that. So that's it's not a commercial play. It's really that we can support and accelerate the developers' experience.
Oh yeah, what was, I can't remember who said standard. Before ARM, I was working at Lenaro, right? And I was really big in the 96 boards program, which was a standard, a hardware standard. For various different footprints of single board computers. And one of the beautiful things here was that chip vendors, silicon providers could basically take this standard and, for the most part, adopt the things that all chips do, right? Like general purpose input output, high speed output input output. USB ports, HDMI, like these chips all kind of do this. But there were things that if you wanted to kind of accent the secret sauce of your particular chipset, then there were areas of the standard that you could go in and kind of customize to make your board or your product unique. But saving so much time in designs and bring up that you don't need, everyone can share these pieces. The pieces that everyone does, share that lift, right? Like, let's push this boulder up the hill together. Spend the time perfecting the thing that you do best instead of and that's why I love standards. I love certain things because it enables people to work together and build the most robust version of the things that everyone is doing, and then putting your efforts into the stuff that matters. But yeah, all right, cool. So Dara, we do have 7 minutes left. Let's be
Yeah.
cautious.
So do you? Yeah, I was going to show quickly the. Shall I show quickly do you want to give some updates before I can show the Docker stuff, or how do you want to do it?
Let's do. I'll trickle in the updates at the end, Dara. I want to make sure you have everything all the time you need to do this.
Yeah.
And I'm
Okay.
just gonna sprinkle some developer program updates on at the end of the episode.
So let me show you another thing. So basically, behind me here, up here is actually the Solid Run LX2160. So another NXP. So this is like if you can't afford the big boy and you want something in between, below $100,000, that guy. And the nice thing is I got the Docker desktop for Linux running on it today, the latest build. So they're going to soon, hopefully, launch it, and it's I'm really excited to see Docker desktop natively running on Linux. So so let me just share the screen on it now here. I can show you two things. So basically, this maybe I'll just zoom in. I'm going to challenge the camera to.
Yeah, we're definitely not going to see the text. I don't think, but we'll see stuff scrolling. Oh, yeah, I just see it, but not really. No.
Oh, okay, but yeah. So this is H-top, like 16
What
core.
camera is that? I'll ask later. No,
I had the same.
Yeah, sorry. No, sorry. Keep going, Darryl. I'll ask later.
I see.
Yeah, we can see. Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah. So that's the Solid Run CX. It's the Honeycomb platform. It's labeled the Honeycomb platform. This I'm running kernel 6.1, and I have Ubuntu installed. So I have a LSI release. I have was it cat etc ls. I have 22.04 release, and I'm running Docker's latest build of Docker Desktop for Linux. So here I'm just executing the tutorial. So yeah, that's quite nice. That Docker Desktop for Linux can run on this thing. But normally it has been available predominantly for Mac and for Windows, but now we have it for ARM Arch 64. So there you see the ARM 64 and Docker Desktop for that 16. So yeah, that was a nice quick win today, is to see Docker Desktop. If you wanted to show it more clearer, I have it on the console there as well.
Oh,
it actually showed up very clearly.
Yeah, it came in
it's
very
pretty
clear.
Okay, cool. So yeah, that's this one. We actually use this box to build images for the smaller devices you saw. So what we're doing, this Solid. If I go to Solid Run, so this is the kind of performance you get on. So it's pretty fast. I mean, it's actually faster than my laptop, and it's not too bad. I mean, you can use this as a daily system. And if you look up Solid Run developer desktop, the Honeycomb, you will find actually a lot of people, writing blogs about this. And so that's the platform down there. That's the single board PC, and that's Jan. Jan is very active actually on. You know him yourself. He's very active on Discord.
Yeah. Oh, the guy's amazing. Yeah, he's on the DevEco, the decentralized Discord ownership one. But yeah. That's awesome. And yeah, I feel a sneeze coming on. Pick it up, Dave. Okay. Take it away. No, but yeah, so Dara, we do have just only a few minutes left, and this is kind of the time when we give you your shameless plug as people start popping off of the call. But shameless plug time, Dara. But let's see you again.
Okay, all right. I was going to try and show a blog post, but there's a lot.
Yeah, I have a few minutes. I'm just we're getting towards that end, and I want to make sure that you get your shameless plug.
Well, my shameless plug. That was it. No.
All right, there's a shameless plug, and I will say on my behalf,
Yeah.
Because you always do so many amazing things. It's in your best interest, anyone watching, to go follow 56K Cloud on Twitter. Go follow Graylish. Dara Graylish is his last name that he uses for his handle on Twitter. And go check out their website, 56k.cloud. Right?
Yeah, I mean, the shameless plug is I didn't do all of this now. Like some of the work on the PLC stuff, that's my colleague Joachim and Firas, and also with our our partner company here, which are deeper on the mechanical PLC side of things. And then thanks to like Mark from ARM and the guys at A-Link for getting us access to these developer workstations. And yeah, I'm happy that we can get this hardware here. It's also one of the reasons why we are building a lab. The lab is based in Winterthur in Switzerland, and we've a call out to Technopark Winterthur as well for supporting us in that journey. Because the risk with COVID was that everyone just goes home and then you have to order 5 development kits. And now the nice thing is people can sit around, they can work on this stuff, and it gives you a reason to come to the office again, because it's really harder to get excited about. So yeah, that would be my shameless plug. Maybe is I'm enjoying it being back to the office.
Dara, you just like said something, and for some reason it just made me like come to a realization that you and I have never met each other in person. You realize that, right? We haven't, have we?
No, it's like 2 years. But
then
this is what we need to do.
Forever. So that was one of the big reasons I pinged you, Santis. There it is. But that was one of the big reasons I pinged you and said, hey, you know what? Like, where are we meeting this year, Dara? What event? I'm going to go to one, and I mean also.
I need to make that call out. So the Parsec. So look up Parsec because we will have a booth with ARM together with Parsec. And we're going to have a dedicated booth with these kind of demos focused on Parsec for abstracting security from devices and stuff, because that's another project that we'd love to share in another more detail when we get to it. But this is also part of this kind of system ready program. And that's where we definitely March 12th to 14th, let's meet at Embedded World.
12th to 14th is going to be actually a very tough one because I have a bachelor party on the 11th that I'm planning. I'm the best man for it. But I noticed that it's not the 12th to the 14th. It's like the 14th to the 16th.
Sorry, 14th. Yes,
yeah, so I can probably make that. So very cool. And you just reminded me, Parsec, by the way, stands for Platform Abstraction for Security, and has recently transferred over to CNCF for their sandbox program, I believe. Yes. And Dara, we should do an episode on Parsec. We should get Mark in here, Mark Minier, and get him in here and do an episode on Parsec, talk about that before the conference, so that we kind of seed some knowledge about it for the conference.
Let's do that, because end of February, the beginning of February at SecurityCon, Paul Howard from the Parsec community will actually be giving a talk. Yeah. So we should, because the booth is actually sponsored by CNCF. So it's not it's not just carrying the 56K brand, it's actually carrying the Parsec agenda, Parsec, and we want to bring the use cases from the community and show it, and the nice thing is, yes, exactly, let's do that Parsec focused one. We could do a call out for the SecurityCon in Seattle. That's at the 1st to 2nd of February, and there you'll get a chance to from the core contributor himself learn more about Parsec.
Very nice, very nice. Well, Dara, I'm going to close this out. We are just a couple minutes. Gabe, any last words?
No, it was great meeting you, and enjoyed hearing about everything, especially Switzerland.
And subscribe to Reddit. Subscribe to the subreddit. Subscribe to Gabe's subreddit. He actually runs that over there. He's been doing a really great thing with the whole daily dose of ARM, a world built on ARM. So if you are a subredditor or Redditor, sorry, I should say, go check out ARM Software Dev and see all the cool stuff that Gabe's posting every day. Now, Dara, I'm going to close this out. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah.
Okay, great. Last but not least, here we go. Dara, thank you so much. As always, you make an amazing guest for the Innovation Coffee. Gabe, we don't get to do that too often right there in person at the ARM office. At the ARM office here in San Diego Jose, having a lot of fun talking about all the cool stuff that 56K Cloud has been doing. Dara Graylish, CEO and co-founder of 56K Cloud. Go check them out. If you enjoyed this episode, if you enjoy live streams like this, we do it every week at 5 p.m. UTC. You can get more information about this by following us on Twitter, ARM Software Dev, going to our Discord server that's kind of scrolling down there below. You can have real-time support, hang out with other developers like yourself. And I went the wrong way, I think, but there we go. That way.
Yeah.
And then, you know, of course, like this video, like it,
Yes.
smash that like, obliterate that like button, and subscribe to the ARM Software Dev channel on YouTube. We will see you all next week, we hope. And Dara, once again, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks.
All right. Take you later. Take it easy. Take it easy. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.
Bye.